A Hamsenenya call-up for young David and his hugs and kisses as new first president meets various national team camps. Welcome to episode 6 of the Top Corner Football Podcast.
Welcome to the Top Corner Football Podcast. This is Milton, and I'm joined by my friend and colleague, Musangu. Welcome to episode 6 of this podcast.
Yeah, thank you. How are you doing, Milton?
I'm great. Sadly, the football season is coming to an end, and over the weekend, more leagues came to an end. The Premier League, the Israeli Premier League as well came to an end. So we thought, let's talk about a few of the players playing abroad and how they are doing. I don't know if any of the Zambian players playing abroad have stood out for you.
Yeah, well, a number of players have performed really good, honestly. We can talk of the likes of Kingsley Kangwa. I think Kingsley Kangwa has been the exception of this season. By and large, he's ahead of everyone. The other guys that we might look at is Ricky Chnada. Ricky Chnada, I think, has fit into his new club very well as well. And Songa Chipioka. I think for me, these three guys have been exceptional.
Yeah, true. As I said, the Israeli Premier League came to an end. Unfortunately, Kings Kangwa and Hapoel Beersheva missed out on the Israeli Premier League. They could have been their first, I think, in 7 years. They were beaten to the punch by Maccabi Tel Aviv on the final day. They drew last week and lost the league by a point, by 2 points rather. Kings Kangwa has been in fantastic form. Obviously, he scored 13 goals, 7 assists, and has been nominated for Israeli Premier League Player of the Year, and he will be featuring in the Israeli Cup on this coming Wednesday as well. So he's been far away ahead of many of our players, foreign-based players. Songa Chipioka as well. He was awarded with a 3-year contract after his loan stint with Petak Tilva. 7 goals and 7 assists in 33 games.
Yeah, those are incredible numbers when you look at them. They're very good.
Yeah, they're good numbers. Ricky Chnada as well. After moving from Moldova, and now he's in Estonia with Nome United, the same coach he was with at City of Lusaka. He was also with this coach in Moldova, and now he's at Nome United. The interesting part is that Ricky Chnada has now transitioned into midfield. He's a versatile centre back, and he's now being used in midfield. And during that time, he's scored twice and assisted as well. The other player that has had a good season, though not as fantastic as last season's Fashion Sakala, he's still scoring goals, 8 goals this season. He's contributed a number of assists. He's one of the best players. He's for his club and in the Saudi League as well. But the truth of the matter is that most players have not done well. The bulk of the players that are playing outside Zambia, if you look at, for example, our database, most of them are not doing well. Maybe outside Benson Sakala, Edward Chilufi has struggled a bit as well. He obviously scored a brace. He also missed out on the league title in Denmark. He scored a brace and won the game, but on the same day. Copenhagen had won on the other side, so they Michelin missed out on the Danish league title. Which other players would you say have not lived up to expectation this season?
Well, I think you've highlighted a good number of them, but the biggest guy that we might talk about is Patson Daka. We understand the frustration of Leicester City fans, and to be honest with ourselves, Patson Daka has kind of failed to live up to the expectations of the fans this season and some few seasons back, and I think generally his time at Leicester City has come to an end, and he needs to leave and try his luck somewhere else.
I would agree with that. I think for some time it has been clear that things are not working out for one reason or the other. I think Patson Daka joined Leicester City when at the best time and the wrong time as well, because since he's joined the Leicester City that was bagging players at a bargain and turning them into a star. 2 stars was the thing, and they could, like Harry Maguire, 2 seasons at Leicester City, and he was off to Manchester United for 80 million. This is what Leicester City was doing at the time. They would find gems. The same can be said of Riyad Mahrez and N'Golo Kante, who were grabbed from unknown places and then turned into stars and then sort of. But since then, Leicester City has waned in their ability to sign players. Their transfer strategy hasn't been the best, and they've been yo-yoing between the Premier League and the Championship. So there's that aspect of Leicester City not being in the best shape, but also Patson Daka has probably not developed as anyone would have wanted, as Zambians would have expected, or Leicester City would have wanted. So I think it's time for him to, as you said, to try new things. I don't think he's a terrible player. There's a player in there, but it has not worked out. He has not developed and delivered on the promise. So aside from Patson Daka, obviously, there's which other player has disappointed you this season, or which players did you expect more from?
Well, I think one of the players that I would like to talk about started his career on a very slow pace at his club, and it was a little bit disappointing. But now he's picked up the pace and he seems to be moving in the right direction. This player is Joshua Mtale. Maybe because when he moved to Simba in last season, there was so much expectation from the Simba fans for him to fill in Cletus Chama's boots, of which we know those are bigger shoes to fill in, and his start was quite slow, and it was a little bit disappointing. But now it's good to see that he's coming up to light, and he's playing well. We saw he recently scored in the final match against RSB Bakken of Morocco. Despite them losing in the final, for that fact, he played well and he got the man of the match in the game they played on Sunday.
He scored in the 17th minute, but ultimately that game has gone down in controversy. What has garnered a bit of controversy. The important part is Joshua Mutale has regained his form and is an important factor for Simba. Yet, as you said, For me, the other players I wanted to mention that have not maybe taken the next step or developed as we wanted, I think Miguel Chaiwa and Sabobo Banda have struggled for game time. Lamek Banda as well has struggled for game time. Kingston Mutandwa at Cagliari as well has struggled for game time. And like his mate Joseph Liteta, who's gone, who's continually grown this season. Mutandwa, Sabobo, and Chaiwa, Lamek and Chaiwa have not been impressive this season. You would hope they step up next season. You've spoken of Joshua Budom Tali coming back to his best. This has culminated in him being named in the Chipolo Polo squad for the June friendly international window. Friendlies against this will culminate in friendlies against Sudan and Tunisia, which will be played in Morocco. What else has stood out for you as a positive from the team that Avram Grant?
Oh yeah, we've seen Avram Grant unveil his 20-man provisional squad for those two friendlies coming up. But for me, I think I would only point out to just a few number of players that have been added to this team. I'm excited to see Willard Mwanza being selected to this team. I think his efforts have finally paid off. He's been consistent towards the end of the season with Power Dynamos beating who's this Lawrence Mulenga. We saw many fans actually complain when we saw Wedson Nyirenda's provisional squad for COSAFA for the upcoming COSAFA Cup, because Willard Mwanza's name was actually missing from that list and Lawrence Mlenga's name was there. So there was actually a concern from the fans that how does Willard fail, and we see Lawrence Mulenga up there. And the other addition to this squad that I'm excited to see is the youngster David Hamsenenya get his senior, call up, which is good. The boy played very well at the ended under 20 AFCON.
David Hamsenenya was one of the best players at the under 20 tournament, because I think he was in the best team of
the best 11 of the group stage.
The best 11 of the group stage. And I also think because of the problems that we have at fullback, I don't think we've had very good, dependable fullbacks. I think this kid has the potential to nail down a place in that team. I feel the same way on the other side for Kalimina with the under 17. I think if he gets a chance to play in the national team, those fullback places are there for the taking, and David Hamsenenya might be able to grab one and make it his own. Only question is, will the
talking about the odd man giving chances to young players, I would also love to see him give a chance to Owen Tembo, because he's another exciting thing I've noticed with this squad. Owen Tembo is like an unsung hero in a way, because he's a quiet guy doing the dirty work, and would say he's played a vital role actually at Power Dynamos for them to win the trophy this just ended season. So these three are the players I'm actually excited to see and hope to see in the final squad as well and play. But that's another thing,
That's a different
Yeah,
different
that
conundrum altogether. Which players have been called up?
all
If
right. Yeah, just to run
can
you
we go
through real
through
quick. Um, we've seen Tostan Sabata. Yes, so with the goalkeepers,
goalkeepers?
with there's Tostan Sabata, Francis Mwanza. Oh, sorry, Francis Mwanza at Green Buffaloes and Willard Mwanza. And for the defenders, there's Gift Impande, Dominic Chanda, Kabaso Chongo, Kilian Kanguluma, Obino Salah, David Hamasenya, and Benedict Chepeshi. And then with the midfielders,
So speaking of defenders, there's been some development on that end. If you remember very well, is it 2 years ago, we had Aime Mabika pledging his allegiance to the Zambian flag and getting his passport. But the time that followed, we saw him fall down and failed to tick in the MLS. He's now with Rhode Island club, and now he's been playing in recent times. I don't know if Faz is keeping tabs on that or interested in that, but that is something that has started happening. He's started the last 3 games.
oh yeah, it's good to see him. Yeah, because I want to believe that he wasn't playing for some time, and now he's back on the pitch.
Yes, he hadn't been playing
Yeah.
after he
So now,
left Toronto.
I I,
He's just
I
on
just remembered
his new
something.
club at the start of
Now
this season.
we know we know Aime Mabika came almost at the same time with Frankie Msonda, and Frankie Msonda is missing from this list. What's going on?
Yeah, Frankie Msonda is also has struggled with injuries at several points this season. He unfortunately in the playoff games there was which his team eventually lost. I think he picked up another injury and he's out.
Yeah, shucks.
You know that for a fact. Unfortunately, so both our exports are not particularly doing well right now.
Okay, so like
Who's
in
in
the
midfield?
midfields, we have Benson Sakala. I think he's fairly had a good season. There's Luba.
Yeah, his team got promoted back to the Premier
Yeah,
Division.
we have Luambo Msonda. Good to see him back after an injury.
I think
Yeah.
that's another player who had a good season.
Yes.
Should have mentioned
Despite
that.
him picking up a
as
few
well.
knocks here and there, I think he's been good. Miguel Chaiwa. There's Kings Kangwa, Gordon Mafuenta, Emmanuel Banda, and Emmanuel Banda has been quiet for some time. Joshua Mtale, Joseph.
No, he's actually been a regular for his Saudi
Oh yeah.
second division time out high. He's regularly in the team and scoring. He's
All
had
right.
a fairly good season as well. Yeah, I think he's back in form and
Yeah. So there's Joseph Sabobo Banda, Cletus Chama, Kelvin Kampamba, Kelvin Kampumbu, and Owen Tembo. That sums up the midfielders that we have.
So we have Patson Daka, Kennedy
Edward
Musonda,
Chilufya.
and
Yeah.
Edward Chilufya
Yes.
for our forwards, isn't it? So Edward Chilufya has struggled for game time this season. He's always on the bench. He scored a few goals here and there. He scored a fantastic brace to try and save the title for Michelin on the weekend, but ultimately futile. Patson Daka has struggled for game time. Kennedy Musonda has not lit up the Tanzanian league this season. The one striker who has done well is not in the team. Fashion Sakala.
I know. We know after the spat between him and the former FAS president, we saw like more thick, another thick of layer being added to his unavailability to the national team. But now we only have Avram Grant probably as the only barrier, maybe stopping him from being back to the national team. Would love to have him back.
I think two things that we have to accept. Number one is that I don't think Fashion Sakala will play for the national team as long as Avram Grant is coach. And even if another coach comes in, it's possible that they might take a grievance with the way Fashion Sakala chose to deal with his alleged mistreatment at the national team. It's possible that, and I think Fashion Sakala recognized this and recognizes the fact that his international career might be over, possibly, especially if Grant stays. Number two, people, because of how they feel, of the opinion they have on how Fashion Sakala decided to deal with this or handle this, because is it professional or professional? Take your pick, have your opinion. But the one thing that people have tried to pretend as, they've tried to pretend or say Fashion Sakala is not that important, we can move on from him. We can't. Right now, if we look at strikers and forwards across the board, Fashion Sakala is a fantastic footballer in this national team, and he's a star and he's an influential player. So those two things people have to accept.
Yeah.
Moving on. So a lot of squads have come out. Zambia is also going to take part in the COSAFA. We have that squad. It's out. Right now. Aside from that, the Copper Queens squad was also released by Nora Hapto. And funnily, is it funny? New First President Keith Mwimba had the chat with the squad. He also, with the Copper Queens squad, he had a chat with the Copper Queens squad, met the coach, Nora Hapto. He also met Wedson Nyirenda and met the COSAFA team as well. He obviously has not met Avram Grant, who always disappears for a long time. But in the Copper Queens squad, this is an important time for the team. They still sharpening and getting ready for the WAFCON, which everyone is waiting for. What impressed you about the squad?
I think Nora is somehow special when you look at how she's blending in with this team, and also just engaging the fans themselves. Like, every fan has a sense of you kind of build. She's kind of built a sense of belonging to this team. Already we saw her mentioning trying to stop trying to move away from the chipante pante kind of football to them having a more structured way of playing. So, but what stood out as well is that you can see that she's picking up young girls that are special in a way and incorporating them in the team. All we need to see now is we need to wait and see if she can actually use these players. So we've seen Messi Chipasula actually being incorporated in this team. We've seen Frida Mukonka or Mukoma we've seen Freedom Coma being incorporated in this team. Great Gondwe, the Zambia under 20 and Green Buffaloes Stars. So now I think this is Gondwe's first actually senior call. This is Margaret Gondwe's first call to the senior team, and I would love to see how well she incorporates these young players, and hopefully she gives them game time, unlike our granddad.
So obviously the team is being led by Barbara Banda. Barbara Banda also scored a hat-trick on the weekend as a response to her not being named the best player in Southern Africa by COSAFA. And Kunda Nanji, who's seemingly finally getting her form back. Do you think there's anything to be said between how Nora is present and watching the league and identifying her players, local players, international players on her own, and how Grant is absent and always naming the same players?
I think by and large, Nora is more identified as being part of the Zambian football space than Grant in a way. And I say this because what you just highlighted, Nora will turn up to a league game almost every weekend if she has a chance and watch the ladies play. Unlike Grant, who's been away, because listen, and here's one funny thing that you notice. Faz Quite Alright has improved, like the Faz media team is doing very well, and they'll make sure to capture every moment, or every moment that makes a lot of sense with the national team, or be it with the president. We recently saw videos, pictures of the Faz president meeting Nora, but we haven't seen any pictures of him meeting Grant. That alone tells you that Grant is nowhere near in the country and he hasn't been watching any games. You'd expect Grant.
Yeah, even
Yes,
the team.
you'd expect.
Was there a press conference?
No, it wasn't there. You'd expect Grant to be at the biggest cup game that Zambia has, the Absa Cup final. He's nowhere near. So now, in a way, this guy is detached with the team. Quite all right. You might say, no, there's he's watching some videos and whatnot. So of these players playing. So which videos is he watching exactly, or which games is he watching? Is he only concentrating on players in Europe, or does he have time to actually watch league games or even players in the National League? You get it, right? So I think Grant is distant.
Yeah, I understand
Yes,
what you're
Grant is distant with the team. He's disjointed with the fans, and it's very difficult for fans to identify him as being part of them because he doesn't connect with the fans.
As we wind up, yesterday FIFA announced the groups for the Under-17 World Cup. Zambia find themselves paired with Brazil, Indonesia, and Honduras. I think it's a very fair group, and Zambia has every chance to make it out of this group. I also feel like the way this team plays, they play a certain technical level of football, and I think it will be much suited to their ability and their strengths. I expect them to do well. Obviously, Ebo, Deadshot, Nirongo, Kalimina, Simute, and Sugar will will be licking their lips
Yeah.
to excite the world.
Yeah,
What did
well,
you make
I think it's the same thing. It's a fair group, and the fact that these boys have been playing very well. I know Brazil maybe might be the only header in that group, but I mean Indonesia and Honduras, we most likely will make it out of this group stage. Oh, sorry, out of this group, and hope to see the boys go very far, because this talent of kids is like they're playing some good football, as you explained.
Yeah, they're very good. I expect them to do well. Okay, I think we can round up here. That's all we had for you this week. We'll be back on the weekend. This has been Milton and on the Top Corner Football Podcast, and my colleague in Sambu.
Bye bye. Cheers.
Bye.